There's a year-round need for quality, nutritious food. I'm Jill Horner. This is Comcast Newsmakers. With me is Bernie Coley. He's Food Drive Coordinator for Fiorenza's Food for Friends. Thanks so much for being with us. Good to see you.
You're welcome, Jill. Thanks for the time.
When we talk about a year-round need, many people think about having a food drive or volunteering for an organization during the holiday season, but there's a need throughout the year.
There is, and it's interesting, during the holiday season, the food pantries, food banks, they're swamped with food, they're swamped with volunteers, they're turning people away. I heard an interesting comment from a client of the Chester County Food Bank who called the months between January and April heat or eat. And what that meant was that oftentimes they have to make the decision on any given day, do I feed my family today, or it's really cold out, do I turn the heat up? And that's a choice that they have to make. So that's one of the reasons why having food drives year-round is very important.
Very important in the winter months, the spring months, in the summer months as well, because children are out of school, they're not participating in the school lunch or breakfast programs.
Exactly, that's another key point there too, is that all of a sudden that feeding the children is back on the families from June to September. So having a non-perishable food drive, getting food into the food banks, the food pantries, the churches is really critical that time of year, although many people wouldn't think so.
You are looking for organizations, individuals, community groups, schools to participate in food drives.
A lot of businesses are already doing things. We find as we go out and contact businesses, they are doing food drives, but there's so many more that aren't. And it's a very easy thing to get involved in. Coordinating a food drive is pretty simple. And one of the things that F4 Fiorenza's Food for Friend does is we'll work with the companies to help organize it, to help them get the messaging out within the company or across their branches throughout the country.
You work to make them fun and competitive, and that's often a way to raise even more food as part of the process. It
is. If you can kind of get the competitive juices going within the company. A great example is we just participated in a food drive with Bishop Shanahan High School in Chester County, and they did a competition among all their theology classes. They ran it for 1 week. The theme was globally helping people throughout the world, and in 1 week they raised over 4,200 pounds of food. It was just a phenomenal show by the students at Shanahan, and they also are in competition with a high school that's close to them to see which one can raise the most. So,
and that's a good kind of competition to have
for
young people, but for any business as well. You mentioned maybe departments can have a competition or different branches, but you are looking to have targeted food drives as well so that the food that comes in can be quality, nutritious food.
Right, and one of the terms that the government has put out there for people who are hungry is that they're food insecure. So people who are food insecure aren't necessarily hungry, they're getting food, they're just not getting healthy, nutritious food. And a food drive is a great way to control the type of food that gets donated. So you can have National Peanut Butter Month, so you can just take peanut butter donations. Or there's one called How to Catch a Tuna, where you're just having people donate canned seafood. So there's a lot of interesting ways to do that. Multigrain pastas are good, low salt soups. Just good, healthy, nutritious food that you yourself would want to eat.
And that's a good point, that the food that you want donated are things that we would want to eat on a regular basis. If someone is interested in having one of these food drives at their organization, their business, their school, can they just reach out?
Yes, there's a number of ways to contact Fiorenza's Food for Friends, through Twitter, through Facebook. We have our website, f4service.org. We have a phone number. So multiple ways to get started.
Thanks so much for being with us, and people can reach out for more information about making a difference.
Definitely, yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Jill. Thanks for the opportunity.
We've been talking with Bernie Coley. I'm Jill Horner for Comcast Newsmakers.